YouTube friends. I know that you're here because you wanna know which one is the best opening in chess. And be ready to cry because I'm sorry for you, but I don't have the reply. No, there is not a best opening. But this is a beginner guide, and what I want to give you are actually 6 tricks. 6. To play an opening in a great way. So we are going to go through some short, easy opening rules that will allow you to play whatever opening you want in a good, respectable way. Let's get started. Alright guys, the principle number 1 is very easy. Develop your pieces. When I talk about pieces, I refer to knights, rooks, and the queen. So you need to bring out your pieces. Look at them like weapons, special weapons. Every piece has its speciality. The knight can jump, the bishop can go on diagonals, the rook can go from a side of the board to another extremely fast. The queen is your special weapon. So use them. If you keep them all in their starting square, they are unuseful. You can also take them and throw out of the board. It's the same. So develop your pieces, use them. Principle number 2. What to do about the pawns? Don't make too many pawns move. I will go a bit deeper here because I want to explain what you should do with the pawn in the opening. You should push a couple of pawns. Mostly it's recommended to push at the first move one of these central pawns. So to play e4 for example, or d4. But why should you push pawns? You should push pawns in order to make free your other pieces. e4 for example is making free the road for the bishop and for the queen. The knight can already jump out. So push the central pawn in order to let your pieces going out. Another way that you should use your pawn is to place them into the center. The center of the board is a very important side of the board. It's where the big action is going on. So make sure to place your pawn in the center of the board, or at least to control some squares in the center of the board. For example, the move e6 here is not placing the pawn directly in the center, but is at least controlling one central square. Principle number 3. Develop your pieces towards the center. So I was talking already about how strong is the center. You can look at the center like a hill. So the center is the top of this hill and the board is all the rest. From the center, every piece is much more powerful. I will show you an example. Let's place a knight to the center of the board and a knight to the edge of the board. Now, let's have a look at how many squares those knights can move. So this knight can move here, here, so can jump there, there, also back, here, and also on the other side, here, 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 and here. So if we can count it right, should be 8 squares. So this is a very strong knight, and also from the center of the board is controlling important squares. So like a square on f7, where the king might be near. So place your pieces in the center, because if you place them on the corner of the board, look how sad is that knight controlling just 2 squares and mostly not so important squares. So can be a big difference. So principle number 4, don't expose your queen too early. You know, this is important. It's very tricky, this point, because you feel like my queen is so powerful, I want to use it. But you're right, you should use your queen, but to expose your queen too early at the beginning might be a problem. You know why? Because your opponent can use some of his pieces, for example knight or bishop, to attack your queen and bringing them out. So your opponent will be developing pieces and at the same time attacking your queen. So be careful with the queen. We are gonna see an example where one of the 2 players is going out too early with the queen. Let's have a look at a short game. Alright, so this is a game, a real game played online where white is playing according to this principle and black not, and is getting into big trouble. Don't be like him, be rather an Alessia sub and sub to the YouTube channel. Yee. So e4, d5, this is the Scandinavian opening. After this, white is mostly taking the pawn and the queen is taking back this pawn. And there we start, the queen is out and is a bit exposed, and that's why black is using already the first knight. The knight is developing and at the same time attacking the queen. This is exactly what I mean. Don't expose your queen too early. So black is going with the queen on a5. As you see, white has already a knight out and black has just his queen out. So knight to f3, bishop to g4. Of course, also black is trying to bring pieces out. h3 and bishop take f3. Okay, when I say don't bring your queen out, I say generally don't expose your queen if it's not needed. Better to go out with all your pieces. But of course here, it's better to take back this bishop with the queen. So it's fine sometimes to go out. Knight to c6 and bishop to b5. Look, this queen here is actually not so much exposed because cannot be attacked by many pieces. Instead, this queen here is very vulnerable. But let's see how the game went on. So, black did a bad move, probably bishop to b6. This move is particularly bad because you're moving one more time your queen just to protect this knight. Of course, it was not so easy to find a solution in this position because white is threatening to take here, and after pawn take, he's taking also with the queen, giving a check and attacking also the rook. So it looks extremely dangerous already. So that's why here black played the move queen b6 to protect this point. But here the queen is in big trouble. You can stop the video if you want to find yourself the move. White is doing the move knight to d5, attacking the queen. And of course here, this bishop cannot be taken because black would be playing the move knight to c7, giving a check to this king, attacking at the same point the queen and the rook. So be careful, the knight are sneaky pieces, are very strong, except, particularly when they are forking you. So attention. That's why here black moved the queen to a5. But now, guys, after the move b4, this queen is completely trapped. Look at the destiny of a queen that was exposed too early. Don't do like Bob, be like an Alessia Sab. So, the queen cannot take there again because there would be knight takes c7. The queen cannot go there because the knight is controlling the square, cannot be there because the bishop is controlling, cannot be there because the bishop is controlling, cannot be there because this bishop is controlling. The queen cannot take the pawn because the knight is protecting it. And last thing, this knight cannot take the pawn because it's pinned. The knight cannot move because the bishop is looking at the king. So here the queen is won and black resigned. But he learned a lesson. Don't expose the queen too early. Good. Let's go on. Principle number 5. Don't move the same piece twice. Also here we are gonna see an example where white was developing all the pieces one at a time. Instead black was moving the same pieces too many times. There is a reason why you should not move the same piece twice. It's very simple. If you use two tempos, two moves, to bring your knight first here and then to move it again, instead your opponent is using to develop two pieces, one knight and another. After two moves, you have just one piece out, your opponent has two. So he has two weapons and you have just one. So he's in a better position. Alright, let's have a look at this game. e4, always move this pawn two step forward. Knight to f6. This is the Alekhine defense. Black is bringing out the knight and is not placing any pawn in the center. It's a risky opening because after e5 already this knight is moving again. d4 placing another pawn to the center. Now all the bishops are ready to go out. The knight can jump to their natural square. A very good control of the center for white. D6, trying to targeting the pawn, try to change some pawn to bring this bishop out. A good move. C4, you see, white is taking space, pushing the pawns, and this knight is forced to move again. Okay, right now the knight was forced to move again, was always attacked by pawn, and so he had to move. But now black is starting to go completely crazy. So white is taking here, black is taking back. And now white wants just to bring all the pieces out. Knight here, bring the bishops out somewhere. And black instead is doing a wrong plan. Let's see. Knight to f3. And now black realizes that that knight there is a bit sad. He's not doing anything. He's not attacking this pawn because the bishop is protecting. So black decides just to bring the knight towards a better square, the square on f6. But doing this is leaving all the other pieces in a very bad, in the starting square. Not too active, no? So knight 6 to d7. And white is going on developing another piece. Again, knight to f6. Bishop to d3. And if black goes on crazy, will keep moving this knight, maybe attacking this pawn, what is just going on? Just ignoring this crazy knight and just going on. Bishop to g5, attacking the queen. And now the knight is going back home because he wants to cover the attack of the queen. So the knight is moved another time. And white is finally castle. Look, this knight was a crazy knight. He was like the main character of this position, but yeah, what did it bring? Nothing. So don't move the same piece twice in your opening if it's not needed. Principle number 6. Important always to remember that the king is the main piece. There is a special move and that is called castling, and we need to do that. The king needs to go in a safe place. Let's use this position after knight here, bishop b4, white is taking this knight, black is taking back, white is developing this bishop. So now both players are ready to do this special move. Castling is extremely important, and actually there are 2 reasons why you should castle. Reason number 1, you should always consider to bring your king in a safe place, and the king is much safer here on a side of the board protected by 3 pawn and the rook than on the center of the board where it can be easily exposed. Second reason is that once a black, for example here, will bring out the bishop and the queen, the 2 rooks will be connecting, looking at each other, protecting each other, and the 2 rooks connected are strong. So always remember to castle. Alright, we are nearly at the end of this video. Now I want to show you just a small recap. So I will show you an example of great development for white. Instead, black will be just chilling with his knight back and forward. Let's see. White is starting with the move e4 and black is going with the knight out. White is placing 2 pawns in the center, and these are the 2 pawns that you should try to move. So just to make sure that your bishop can go out. Black is going back and you start to develop the first knight. Black is not really having an idea how to develop his pieces. Knight to c3, you bring out another piece. Then you bring out your bishops. And then you bring out the other bishop. And then you castle your king. Actually, you can also move your queen if you want to long castle. No? And now you can choose between long or short castle. I will do short castle. And this is the ideal, the dream. How we would like to bring out all our pieces. You see the harmony. White has a very good harmony. 2 pawns here leading that are helping all the pieces to go out. the knight towards the center, all the pieces looking at the most important squares of the position that are the center, e4, e5, d4, d5. The king is safe, the rooks are connected. This is how you should start your game. So, write it down, all the principle. Make sure that in every opening that you play, you apply them, and I can guarantee you, you will start every game in the right way, with a good position. Alright guys, also this video is finished. I hope you like this beginner guide. Make sure to follow the channel, to like it, to comment with hello, nice video. And make sure also to come on Twitch and say me live and say me hi. I'm live every day from 10 a.m. And I'm crazier than on YouTube.